Right, here's my video review of the new ProTech toolkit. I owned the old ProTech toolkit for years, and this has been a workhorse. It's had everything I've needed to tackle most of my electronics repairs over the last few years. So when they came out with their new improved kit, I thought I'm going to have one. Amazon was actually sold out, so I bought this directly on iFixit.com. It was $65 plus $7 shipping, so it actually came out to a couple bucks cheaper. It's still in this awesome, different, smaller, awesome tool roll. It's a little bit slightly thicker than the old one, but more compact overall. I've been using this for a few days already and have been really impressed with it. So let's see here. I'll start at the left. We have the classic anti-static wrist strap. I honestly don't ever use one, but I know some people do, and you need to have one, and I would maybe use it if I'm doing RAM in somebody else's computer, but for my own stuff, I usually don't bother. We got the suction cup for pulling on screens. We have these plastic opening tools, and if you've ever used plastic opening tools, you know how difficult these guys are, or how weak these guys usually are. I don't know what they did to these, but these things are like super tough. The old ones used to last for 1 or 2 repairs, and this is iFixit. It says on the back, this tool is designed to break before your device does. That would be a pretty tough device. These guys are really strong. They don't ding up and just fall apart like most plastic opening tools do. So that's nice. I think 3 of those will last me for years instead of just a few repairs. They've added these picks to the kit. These are really nice. These are like guitar picks. You take these for an iPad or something, and you work your way around the screen to pop it off. Any kind of electronic enclosure it's difficult to get into, these guys will slide into almost anything. We got our tweezer and prying tools. They've upgraded the tweezers definitely from the old kit. These are nylon tip tweezers. I'm really digging these, especially for soldering. You can clamp your stuff in there and it'll hold them. They're also nylon tips. You can poke around electronics with them and not worry about shorting things out. These are a really handy tool. It looks like the tips are replaceable, but glass-filled nylon is a tough material, so I'm not really worried about that. We have the classic curved, tipped, really fine tweezers. I have to be careful not to poke my finger with these. They can hurt. These are ESD safe, actually all of these, because these nylon tips make these ESD safe. These guys have the ESD safe coating on them. This is a nice addition. They've put teeth on the blunt tweezer. It grips cables and stuff like that really well. They've given us 2 of the spudgers. In my old kit, the spudgers were the Menda brand spudgers, which are classic. They've been around in the industry for years. It looks like iFixit has made their own version. It says Repair is Noble on the back. I kind of like how they've put fun little things like that through the kit. These are almost just like the Menda spudger. I mean, there's obviously their own design. I'd say they're about an inch shorter than the Menda spudger, but that doesn't matter at all. We have the classic metal spudger. This is for those real heavy-duty jobs, poking at glass when you have a broken screen on an iPhone or something. This gets you down in there with a tool that's not going to get damaged by the glass and chewed up. And then this is their iFixit Jimmy. This is cool. This is like a putty knife for electronics or something. It's just like a super heavy-duty, flexible metal prying blade. Got to be careful with this on things because you can, jack up a bezel on a screen or something if you use it in the wrong place. Guitar picks are better for that, but this is good for real heavy-duty stuff or snap-together enclosures, hard drive enclosures. I popped open with this. And then we get to the 64-bit driver kit. This guy is awesome. This guy has blown my mind. The old kit was the 54-bit kit. Let me show you first how these magnets work. We got a magnetic lid that just pops on here, so there's no more hinges or latches or anything. Super sturdy. And then it's held in here with a magnet too, so it just like pops into place and stays in there. Really cool just to feel it, how it works, the way the magnets all snap together. And then this magnet under here is super handy. When I'm working, I can stick my screws to it, little tiny screws to it, and not lose them. They stay wherever I put them, and then when I go to put my device back together, you know, they're all in order. So that's really handy. And then the lid here, because some people don't want to use a magnet, the lid here actually has these little separation trays. So you could use that if you don't want to use the magnet to sort your screws. So dual purpose there. But this is what I was really stoked with. So the old one was the 54-bit kit, so obviously they found 10 more bits to add to it. And I've noticed a few of them. I haven't done like an exact comparison, but I noticed they've got the 5.5 millimeter nut driver now. I've needed this a few times. Printers, photocopiers use this guy. So yeah, we've got nut drivers 2.5 millimeter through 5.5 millimeter. We have this adapter. I'll show that at the end, how that works. We have hex, 0.7 millimeter up to 5 millimeter. We have the spanner bits. These weren't in the old kit. I see these mostly in elevators, but I also see them even like in public restrooms as security bits to hold equipment on the wall. But usually you see these in elevators on the control panels. And then here we've got our square or Robertson bits. This is mostly a Canadian thing. We use Phillips in the United States. They use Robertson up in Canada. I've never actually used these, but they do exist, so I understand why they're in here. We've got our Japanese Industrial Standard, or JIS bits. These are used in things that come from Japan. Cameras, drones, those little remote control helicopters use JIS and not Phillips, and there is a difference. Phillips has a different shape to the tip, so using a Phillips bit in a JIS screw can sometimes damage the screw. We have Torx starting at T2, which is microscopic. And they say these are all CNC machine bits, and the quality is amazing. I don't doubt it at all. So we've got a T2 through T5 regular Torx. And then they start the Torx Security at T6, which Apple started using. You'll see this in the Mac Mini. So we've got T6 through T25 Torx Security. So broad range there. I don't even know. T25 is way bigger than a precision kit needs. That's usually in bigger things, but they've given it to us here. We have the Nintendo Game Bits. This lets you get into stuff going back into the 80s, so they're really making sure they cover all the bases here. GameCube, Nintendo game cartridges, all kinds of stuff that this works with. Got a SIM eject bit here, so you don't have to dig up a paper clip every time you want to get a SIM card out. We've got flatheads from 1 millimeter to 4 millimeter. So nice assortment of flatheads. We have the new Y000 bit. If you saw iFixit's Apple Watch teardown, this is a new screw that Apple is using. Teeny tiny. I haven't done any Apple Watch repairs. Don't know if I will. That's kind of a tiny device, but I've got it if I need to. And then we've got the 000 and Y1 bits. 00 you'll use sometimes on like computer trackpads. We got the Penelope bits, P2 for the iPhone. P5 does like the MacBook Air, MacBook Pro. P6, I'm not sure what that's for. We've got our assortment of Phillips here. 000 through Phillips number 2. Phillips number 2 is kind of big for this set also, but it's the most common Phillips out there, so they've stuck it in here. I guess you could use that on some computer applications, like desktops might have that, but usually it's Phillips number 1 is as big as I deal with. And then we've got the triangle bits. One of these is used for McDonald's toys. I'm not sure. We've got 2 sizes here, though, so there must be other applications out there. And then we've got this driver handle. This guy is really cool. It's got the nicest ball bearing spinner top I've ever seen. It's anodized aluminum. It's got this this knurled grip. I get tons of torque with it. It works much better than the O-rings in the old kit. The old kit just had 3 O-rings here, and they were kind of slippery on my fingers. So I'm really happy with the driver handle. They've dropped the short extension that's in the 54-bit kit and just have the long flexible extension. And this is not magnetic. It uses a clip. So if you do have a purpose you don't want a magnetic bit, you can use this to eliminate the magnetism. But what is really nice is this guy here, because it is magnetized when you're working on something. Tiny screws are just so easy to work with. You can even, common trick I see, I haven't used it myself, but I see some other repair folks do, is, and I'm going to start practicing it, is they'll stick all their screws that are similar for a step, like maybe putting a screen on or something. They'll just bunch them all on here, and then they'll just slide them out to the tip one at a time. I'm just afraid I'm going to lose an important screw, and I'm not always as organized as everybody else. So yeah, I'm really impressed though with this. Back to the adapter. Oh, and all these bits too fit in my little General 4mm electric screwdriver. So that's nice. These are great for electronics. If you buy one of these though, make sure you get the 4mm one and not the 1/8 inch one, because it is not compatible with most of the bits out there, and you'd have to get their special bits, I think. And then this adapter here lets you put any of the bits in a standard 1/4 inch driver, which is, for precision work, probably not very practical, but it's nice to have that option. But yeah, overall, I'm really, really impressed with this kit. I saw a ZDNet review of it where he compared it to Snap-on and, other top quality brands, and I'd agree. I can't find a single flaw in it, and it seems to cover everything that I need for electronics. So I would say go iFixit for the win. They're really the only people making a electronics toolkit of this type. So for them to go to the trouble to re-engineer the whole thing and make everything better is really cool. And yeah, I think I'm going to give my old kit away now. And this is definitely going to be my new daily carry electronics toolkit. Well, thanks for listening to my review.